Paul Brown said to me, son, act like you've been there before. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, I just barely got on the field. I hadn't been there before. So
I'm glad to be part of that trend. You know, sun's out, guns out.
How about Isaac Curtis on one side, Charlie Joyner on the other side? A lot of quarterbacks were very envious that I had those two weapons to throw to. But
now, wait a minute. Is it fair that Pat McAnally is still the sexiest guy on our team? Is that?
You got me there. You got me good.
Donald, how you gonna be in that video not represent with a chain and your tango, man? I got mine on. I'm ready to go.
Oh, that's great. That's priceless.
There are two guys that I think it's a travesty that are not in that Hall of Fame.
Ken Riley and Ken Anderson. Yeah, sure.
Let's put the backdrop on, Jamie. See if Marissa's okay with it.
Yeah, I got her back. Starting the Canadian fan club up here for you.
That is so funny.
My last touchdown, and that's what Joe Burrow's going to end up like if they don't start protecting his ass. It's going to be the next David Klingler. David Klingler.
There's no Spanish speaking people here, very few. So we, fast forward, we go to the Super Bowl in Miami, and the word was the Bengals have two big Mexican offensive linemen. They don't know how to speak Spanish. So I got down there and started doing these interviews in Spanish, and they're like, "Wait, we heard you don't speak Spanish."
What's going on, fellas? What's going on? But I got on the plane one day in an all red Suge Knight suit. And boy, Joe Walters and the linemen, they destroyed me. I thought for sure I was so clean. I had some gaiters on, all red suit on. I was Suge Knight. They roasted me.
The head coach was the pain in the butt. The Jerry Glenn, he thought he was. If you didn't know who he was, he walked out there like he owned his state. And I always say, if I could get a chance to hit him on the sideline, I would.
I'm tackling your ass, Pete. I'm shoestring low on you.
But I got to tell you, you would have been stepped on, son. You would have had cleats everywhere.
Well, I'm proud to be a Bengal. Yes, I'm proud to be a Bengal again. I got nothing from you guys.
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Talking Football with Bengal Jim and Friends. Guys, the bye week edition of Talking Football with Jim and Friends this week, guys. So we've got a lot lined up here today, guys. We've got DJ Hodge from iHeartMedia coming on. This guy is, Mo Eggers and Tony Pike and all those guys. This is their boss, guys. We're going to be talking to DJ Hodge. We've got Tony the Tiger. It's his birthday today, as a lot of you guys know on our chat area right now. It's Tony's birthday. We've got a lot of stuff to talk to Tony about. A lot of big news over the last couple of days in relation to Tony the Tiger. And we got Bengals legend Joe Walter coming on here at 8:30 tonight, and a lot of fun stuff to talk to Joe about. Got some questions and comments from former players that played with Joe that Joe doesn't know we're getting ready to ask tonight. So it's going to be a lot of fun tonight, guys. So before we get into all the fun stuff, I guess we have to talk about this game this past week against City up north. And Tom, I'll let you kick it off, brother. I don't even like talking about it.
Oh, congratulations, Tom. You get the fun card tonight.
Appreciate it. I always get the fun stuff. 2 weeks in a row, we haven't tackled to a certain degree. Sunday, to paraphrase John McKay, we compensated by not blocking all that well. It just, nothing went right. We turned the ball over. I'd say about the only thing that was relatively solid was special teams. In the first half, there was not a hint of a pass rush. I'd say the only thing good out of that, and it's been true since Zach Taylor came in here, I didn't sense watching play to play there was any sense of quit. I thought all 11 guys played hard every down throughout the whole game. You could sense the frustration, but they all seem pretty universal that what went wrong is easily corrected. And, what we all said at the beginning of the season was that we wanted a sense of direction. And to me, there's no question the team, the franchise is still headed in the right direction. the first guy to be critical of himself is Joe Burrow. That he's thrown some picks that he'd like back this year. Some of those interceptions were not his fault, but that he'd like some of them back. After that pick six, even though we tied the score at 7-7, after that first pick six, I think that really set the tone for the day. We really didn't recover from it, and but they've all been universals. Things that went wrong, they think they can fix and easily fix. There's still a lot to go right, a lot to feel optimistic about. I mean, we watched these guys for 7 weeks become the best team in the AFC, so we know they can do it. And I think they will do it. And I think actually, even though 2 losses send you in the so-called the bad taste in your mouth for the bye week, I don't think the bye could come at a better time. They can address some things this week, put it in, and work it to have everything ready for the Raiders.
Yeah, James, what do you think, man?
Yeah, it was a bad day at the office. Digging us a hole there with that pick six early hurt us. Let's be honest, Jamar Chase probably had his worst day as a pro. Several drops there, and then if you look at the defensive side of the ball, our man Logan Wilson at middle linebacker was just a stud the first 5 or 6 games, and unfortunately he's gone missing here the last couple games, which is hurt. Obviously we have the Akeem injury at linebacker. We lose Brandon Wilson, our top special team player too on Sunday. But as Tom said, the bye's here at a good week. Give the guys time to think, go over some of the issues. I think especially on defense, and look forward to getting the win in Sin City here in 2 weeks. Jamie?
I'm really worried with how many hits Joe Burrow's taken. Like every time they show him after a play, he's on the ground. And I don't have the stats in front of me, but I know I was reading something the other day that he's getting hit more than he was even last year, apparently. So I don't know. I'm worried about how, like a pitcher, how many fastballs he can throw in a game, how many hits can he keep taking in a game. So I'm a little worried about that. And I'm still concerned about some of the call playing. The handoff to Mixon for the 2-point conversion confuses me. Video circulating online right now with Joe apparently rolling his eyes at the call or something like that. So I don't know. Just I'm concerned with the hits that Joe Burrow's taken. That's my biggest concern.
Well, you know what? That's a perfect segue. We do have Joe Walter, former great Bengals lineman, so it'd be interesting to get his feedback on what he sees from the offensive line this year.
Yeah, and let me add something to that. I think it's interesting. I think if you break this season, I think you have to break the NFL season down into quarters. And not only do you have to make game time adjustments, not just halftime adjustments, quarterly in-game adjustments. I think every quarter of the season, analytics are tremendously important to NFL teams. They're getting this data so fast and so quick. So whatever the Bengals are doing offensively and defensively, they've got to change this up because the data the other teams are getting around the analytics around what we're doing, people can figure things out quicker. So I'm wondering if that's kind of an issue, right? Where we have to start making some adjustments and doing some different things, not just in-game stuff, but do some different things, disguise things differently throughout the year because teams are going to start picking things up as well. So I don't know. At the end of the day, guys, 5-4 at the bye. You come out against the Raiders and goes 6-4, and then you got the city near West Virginia to come in, brother. We're good.
This city, I mean, this division in this conference, everybody's 5-4, 4-5. I mean, they're still right in it. The schedule does get tougher, but they're still right in it. And you know what? The last 2 weeks, like we alluded to a little earlier, and James kind of alluded to it. We've seen the guys do it. I mean, Jonah Williams did not have his best game and got beat, for a couple of sacks and hits. Jesse Bates missed some tackles that Jesse Bates makes routinely. I mean, there are guys we know that can do it that just for whatever reason, it didn't happen on Sunday. And I look for some things to be adjusted. To alluding with what Jamie said, if Joe rolls his eyes, Joe Burrow, I think, is the smartest offensive mind in that building. And they should listen to him. And if he wants to adjust the play. I think he'll have a lot of input into the game plan against Vegas. And, like James said, go out to Sin City and bring home a win.
All right, let's talk about the positive part of Sunday now. Enough of the game. We know what happened. Let's move on. So, a gentleman that we're getting ready to have on here in a little bit was instrumental in another $1,000 we raised for charities. I believe we're just under 30,000 year to date. Here's a screenshot of the $1,000 that Tony, Carey, and everybody else at the tailgate raised for Homes for Our Troops. We did the Veterans Day tie-in with November being Veterans Month. So thank you to our friends at Bengals Bids. We had that Tyler Croft game used jersey, and one lucky gentleman took that home. So kudos to Tony for the legwork that he and Carey did leading up to that. And then for the first time, we did something different, tying into the vets again. We had everybody that was at the tailgate that was a veteran coming up. They got a free ticket. Gave probably about 30 minutes for them to come up. Everybody got the free ticket. And then we did a drawing from there. First, I'm going to show a screenshot here. This is all of the vets at the tailgate, both men and women. So thank you to all those wonderful people for their service. You can see Tony there, Dell from 16 Lots, and our buddy Jeff there, people from all over. I think there's even some Browns fans in there. So you can see we are welcoming all. So we did that, and then we had a special prize. We drew a raffle ticket, and this gentleman took home the Bengal board. So that was Tony's idea, and a very, very cool prize that the lucky veteran got to take home. So thank you to all involved for that. And again, just the charities keep going, and that's a perfect segue, Jimmy, that I'll let you go on as we continue the talk.
Yeah, let's hit a couple more things. And everybody that showed up at the tailgate got to see the Bengal cart. A lot of selfies with Bengal cart at the tailgate. As you can see there, the Bengal cart poured and transported all those Bengal bombs across the tailgate. So it was very nice for Bengal cart to take a PTO day and come over and spend some time with us at the tailgate, James. That was a lot of fun.
It was nice. Made his debut outside Paul Brown Stadium. You can see we even had a Bengal blanket there in case he got cold, just to keep him warm. Although it was a beautiful day on Sunday. And thank you to Lori for pouring all those wonderful Bengal bombs. Our buddy Craig was out in Vegas and missed it. Our normal connoisseur of all things Bengal bombs. So Lori filled in admirably, and we had the shots flowing.
Yeah, a couple more things about the tailgate. So we had so many people. I did not do the best of jobs taking pictures, but Tyler Dragonoff from USA Today, him and some other folks were there. It was good to kind of see Tyler. Really good dude. It's the first time I got to spend some time with him. Really good guy. So the tailgate was outstanding. I don't know, James, another 500 plus at the tailgate, another $1,000 for Homes for Our Troops. The generosity of the fans is just outstanding. So it's a lot of fun. That platform has been a lot of fun. And guys, here's our total for the year, not counting what we're doing today. And we're going to have Tony and DJ on here. We're going to talk about this, but you guys have raised almost $30,000 and by adding that $1,000 for Homes for Our Troops. And we're very transparent. It's very important to us and Tony, when we bring Tony on, that you see where this money is going. This particular charity that we did at the tailgate, we were getting $20 from everybody, raised $1,000. We made the donation. Here's the receipt to show you that $1,000 donation was made. It's very important to us that transparency is shown to everybody there to let you know your money's going to where you think you were told it was going to go. So that will continue everything we do.
One more thing before I forget. Thank you, Tom, for your legwork. We had a local pizza establishment there. What did we go through? 30 pizzas? Tell us about that, Tom.
Italianette in Silverton Deer Park. They are absolutely the best. Frank and his team were up very early, 6 o'clock in the morning, family owned. You're not going to find better pizza. Just Jimmy, about 30 yards down the street from Ken Anderson's coffee shop. So
that's right.
Fantastic people. And they went quick. They went very quick.
So Tom, 30 large pizzas, almost 200 corn dogs, 40 pounds of meatballs, 50 kegs of beer, 50 cases of beer. 25 pounds of chicken wings. There was Jungle Joe smoked 3 giant bologna. Not a scrap of food left. Nothing.
Nobody left hungry. We went through a bunch. But
The
as
small-
we talked, go ahead.
I'm sorry. The small amount of Cleveland fans that were at our tailgate, they have never eaten so good in their lives. So they went back home happy, fat and happy.
So along those lines, we touched on this last week, and thank you to the pizza establishment for from helping out last weekend. If you'd like to help, if you own a pizza or any type of food establishment, or know somebody that would like to partake in the food at our tailgate, let us know. We're always looking for new vendors, new people to participate. And again, if you know somebody, let us know. Starting with the city and near West Virginia in 2 weeks. So
Yeah,
let us know.
I think we've had Italianette, we've had 200 plus empanadas from Shays. We've had 40 to 60 pounds of bull pork from Midwest Barbecue.
What about the rope?
The rope factory. We have some poutine from Canada. Let's go, Jamie.
Come on, Jamie.
I know.
Well, James, I tell you what, brother. Let's go ahead and kick this next segment off, man. I'd like you to kind of kick us off on this with Tony and what's been going on in the last day and a half.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to do this in a nice way. We all know, in this day and age, everybody's involved in social media and word travel pretty fast. As we've talked about many times on the show, Tony Carey and his family are very instrumental and what we do at Bengal Jim and Friends. And, it's just not the people on the screen. There's so many people behind the scenes that are instrumental, make everything happen, whether it's the show, whether it's a tailgate, no matter what it is. There's a lot of people that pitch in. So we have a lot of super fans, a lot of diehard fans. Some show their fandom in different ways. Our man Tony goes all out. You can't miss him, whether you're attending a game in Cincinnati or any of the road games that you may have attended this year. He's batting 100 and been to them all, and is going to go to the rest of them for the remainder of the year. And Tony's unique. He's got the full face paint, the full wardrobe, the jersey, and not to mention he's a big stature guy. So regardless of the face paint or what, you're not going to miss him. So with that being said, super fans like that are on TV a lot. And there happened to be a screenshot of Tony taken Sunday during that game we're not going to talk about. And before we go any further, Jimmy, do you want to pipe in something?
No, actually, before we bring Tony on, I want to play the video, but you're doing good. Just keep going.
Okay. So there was a screenshot. A gentleman from the city up north thought it would be funny to question Tony's fandom. And I don't think the gentleman knew who it was, and regardless, it doesn't matter. But Tony's well respected in the Cincinnati community, certainly well respected among the Bengals fans. And let's just say he picked on the wrong person. And not to my surprise, I don't think to anybody's surprise on here, Bengals fans came to his defense pretty quickly via Twitter. Not only Bengals fans, but sports fans across the world. Even some Cleveland fans. And they quickly corrected the gentleman that is employed by Bally Sports Cleveland on his choice of words and questioned why he said that. And a lot of it was, again, what I alluded to, how much Tony does for the city of Cincinnati, whether it's through the charity work, Sunday at the tailgate, handing out coloring books to the kids. So I think that gives you kind of a 30,000 foot view of what happened. And because of all this, amongst our conversation, we have group texts and things like that. What was a negative, we decided to turn into a positive. And the media took to this, and I think we're going to play a video that talks about that.
All right, here we go.
Bengals super fan Tony the Tiger with the accompanying question, quote, what grown man, hell, or woman would want to do this? Now, that tweet was deleted today, but we got the receipts. And we also have Tony the Tiger himself joining us live in studio. Tony, welcome. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
First and foremost, when you saw that tweet, what was going through your mind? What was your reaction?
I was actually pretty disappointed. I do this as a fan. I do this to represent the Bengals and what I like to do. And when I saw the tweet, it was really disappointing that Mr. Knott decided to, take knots at me when he doesn't even know me.
Now, you put out a statement as well, and the response that you put out from Bengals fans, even some Cleveland fans having your back, was pretty overwhelming. Talk about the response that you got showing support for you.
Right, so it was amazing. It was overwhelming to see the Who Dey Nation, and not just Who Dey Nation, like you stated, it's fans all over the country and even the world responded to this. And, they just want to support how fans like me want to support their team.
And it turned into a charitable little operation here. JD Hodge from iHeartRadio pledged $1 for every like that your tweet got to a charity of your choice. And then that was reached very quickly. And then our buddy Bengal Jim, also here a few weeks ago, was stepping up to help. Talk about the charitable involvement here.
Yeah, Bengal Jim and I and his tailgate, that's what it's all about, is charity. And so far this year, we've raised over $30,000. So it's a great opportunity for me to take what I love to do as Tony the Tiger and represent Who Dey Nation and turn it into a charitable event.
And we appreciate you. Bengals Nation appreciates you, but we need to take a moment and wish you a very happy birthday today. How about a little birthday cake? Thanks, Megan.
There you go, of course.
You can't have a birthday without a little cake. Tony the Tiger, blow out the candles.
Tony.
That's for Who Dey Nation right there. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for what you do. And this is the positive side of social media, when you see people gravitate towards what you do and are able to turn it into a positive. So we appreciate you, and we want to thank you for coming on. And remember, you live in Cincinnati, you don't live in Cleveland. Erica, we'll throw it over to you.
Who Dey?
Well, happy.
So let's go ahead and bring on Tony, guys.
There we go.
Tony, first of all, brother, happy 21st birthday, big dog.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
So, I mean, it's been a whirlwind for you the last day and a half, buddy. Just talk about, we had a group text going back, back and forth between a lot of us at the tailgate, our tailgate, which is Tony and everybody else is involved in this thing, and say, you know what, as pissed off as we are at this guy, let's just flip this whole thing on him and let's turn this into a positive fundraising experience. And Tony, you did it, brother. Let's talk about it, man. Just give us your reaction to this.
So, this started, Monday morning, and my phone's going crazy, and I'm trying to work and do my job. And I start looking at it, and I'm like, who in the hell is this Knott guy, right? And I'm like, so I start looking at him, and I'm like, wow, and this guy don't even know me. And these people that are making these comments, it was disappointing. Like I said in the newscast, these people don't know me, and I'll be honest with you, and some of per the text, it upset me. I was pretty upset, and I had some choice words in the text that we won't repeat here. But like you said, Jim, we wanted to look at this as an opportunity to take the high road and represent what Who Dey Nation does, and make this a positive and do the charity work that we have been doing all year.
Yeah, I just it's there's so much negativity on social media, right? But at the end of the day, we can make it what we want to make it at the end of the day. And we as a group and as a fan base, turning that nasty situation into something positive for a great charity is something I love, man. It's just fun to watch this stuff. But James, Tom, Jamie, anything you want to add for Tony here before we bring DJ on?
No, we appreciate Tony's work, as we talked about the charity work that we've done all year, whether it's Alzheimer's Association, whether it was the troops last week, whether it was what we did with the T. Higgins jersey. Tony is kind of the legs behind that at the especially on game days. I think a lot of us are going in a million different directions, and Tony and Carrie really take that by the horns, and we appreciate everything that he does. And again, Sunday was another $1,000 in 2 weeks before this team from Western Pennsylvania plays. We'll do another one, and as you said, it's a big love for us at the tailgate, but we wouldn't be able to do it without Tony and Carrie, and they're basically doing the legwork on game days, and we appreciate it.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
We agreed to keep this clean, so I have no comment.
I too was slapped around by the boss before the show to pour some water on the fire. So, but Tony, I just for anybody to take a shot at you who doesn't know you, who doesn't see every week, whether we're at the stadium or one of our social endeavors during the non-football season where we get Bengal fans together, what you mean to kids who love to come up and talk to you, adults who love to come up and talk football with you. And, as I saw before the game Sunday, not just Bengal fans, but a lot of Cleveland fans that love to come up and talk football with you. And the work you and Carrie do for charities, constantly working your tail off to just make a better environment for not just Bengal fans, but all football fans. So, you're not just a credit to Bengal fans, you're a big credit to our city. And thank you. And thank you for being so classy for all this. And Jimmy can tell I'm starting to get worked up, so I'll shut up.
No, it's Tony. Everybody loves you, buddy. We love you. And this is getting too mushy for me, so I got to say something here. If you've ever seen Tony without makeup, you know why he wears the makeup. That's all I got to say.
Well, I just want to say I appreciate all the comments, and I'm a fan of fans, and like you said, I love anybody, and that's what this tailgate's about too. Anybody can come to this tailgate. It is open to the public, and we will treat you with the respect that you deserve, and that's what's so great about it. And I just appreciate Who Dey Nation, and the cool thing was, I didn't have to say a thing. Who Dey Nation came to my defense and backed me. And, we already knew that this was the greatest fan base that we have. And this obviously just reiterated that. So I really appreciate everybody and their support.
Tony, one quick question. In reading and looking at things, my understanding, it isn't just Cincinnati fans, but quite a few Cleveland fans, but fans from coast to coast and even overseas that you've heard from supporting you, some that aren't even football fans.
Yeah, it was. I had people from France and Mexico, Canada. Jamie, you'd be proud. There was a lot of representation up there that, and it wasn't just the fact of whether they were a sports fan. It was just the fact of how I represent and how I show my fandom and how I want to support my team, and that's what was important. There's people that have face paint and masks and suits and all that kind of stuff, but the whole point here was let people be fans. It doesn't matter how they look, as long as they're not breaking the rule and hurting people. Let them do what they need to do to represent who they are. So that was the greatest thing about this. And again, I can't appreciate everybody and the support that they've provided this over the last 48 hours. It's been phenomenal.
It's awesome, buddy. It's awesome. So the charity that Tony selected here in collaboration with DJ Hodge, which we'll have on here next, is St. Vincent de Paul. A great local charity, been around a long time here in Cincinnati. Helps less fortunate individuals, whether it's delivering food to their homes or helping them maybe pay electric bills so they're staying warm in the winter. There's all kinds of things. We'll let DJ talk about that. But Tony, give you an update what's going on today. This has just been today, late this morning. We kicked this off, and Tony got it kicked off for us. You guys are, as of 5 o'clock, are at $3,276 to St. Vincent de Paul charity here in Cincinnati. And that's a powerful, powerful thing. When we can take something negative on social media and flip it, and I'm sure we'll be over $4,000 by the time it's all said and done. That's an amazing feat, Tony. That's what's so fun about this.
Yeah, it's awesome. And then DJ, he's a great guy and reached out, and he's kind of the one that initiated this. And I appreciate his generosity. And we were talking DM, and it's just been phenomenal. It's awesome.
Well, let's go ahead and bring on DJ. Go see if we can come on and bring him in. I know he's in the waiting room. DJ, what's going on, big dog? How you doing, buddy?
Hey, fellas. How are you?
Good, man. You don't have hair?
I have no hair, man.
I don't either. That's why I wear a hat, brother. So we got 3 bald guys on here. Actually 4, Tony. Don't do it, Tony. Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Well, DJ, real quick, just for everybody on our screen knows this because I learned this today. For our viewers, we got a lot of folks watching right now on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. DJ, it means a lot you being with us. I didn't know how to introduce DJ, guys, so I'm just going to introduce him the best way I think I can. But DJ is from iHeartRadio. He sits on the board of a lot of local charities. He's a board member at St. Vincent de Paul as well. But everybody knows Mo Eggers, right? And he's a pain in the ass. You got a problem with Mo, you go right to DJ. That's Mo Eggers' boss. It's Tony's boss, Rocky's boss. We love all those guys, DJ. We love your crew, and they do a great job. We listen to them, we keep up with them. But thanks for being with us, buddy. We appreciate it.
No, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm glad this worked out, and what you guys do is awesome. What Tony does is awesome. The positivity and energy that he brings to the fan base is something that I wanted to call out and I wanted to shout out. And his response was so well written and so well done that when I saw it last night at 6:30, as I had just finished eating and turned on A Few Good Men, and I'm searching through Twitter and I see his response, I wanted to make sure everybody read it. That was really where it started from, and I'm like, let's turn this into something cool, and it worked out.
Well, you're being overly modest because I'm going to tell everybody, I'm going to share with everybody what you wound up doing. So you were matching dollar for dollar up to, I think, whatever, 1,000 likes on Twitter, which got blown through immediately. So you donated $1,000 yourself to St. Vincent de Paul as well.
I did.
Dude, very cool, brother. It's, we work with a lot of different charities here in Cincinnati, and this is a new one for us. And the more I read about it and more I learned about it, these charities, I really appreciate it. So can you talk a little bit about St. Vincent de Paul? I didn't do a very good job explaining of all the help that they give the local folks here in Cincinnati. So give us a little synopsis there.
Sure. St. Vincent de Paul operates 8 thrift stores in the market. So a lot of our neighbors shop at those thrift stores that are located around the city. There's an office downtown at Bank Street, right down in the West End, where there's a food pantry. They deliver mattresses and beds for people that have kids that don't have beds and have to sleep on the floor. They do rent assistance and utility assistance. Jim, you touched on that. The food pantry is obviously key. And then the piece that really no one's aware of is they have the only pharmacy in town where people who cannot afford their prescriptions can go and get their prescriptions filled so they can stay healthy. All of those things are funded by days like today. And keep in mind, every dollar that's been donated, whether it was mine, Jim, or all of the Bengals fans, and there have been hundreds that have supported St. Vincent de Paul today, all of those dollars are being doubled by an anonymous donor. So really everything that's been donated is 2x.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So there's been some things, right? There was an anonymous donor that I think there was going to be a cap on the match, right? So what happened today that kind of
the middle of the day, the whoever it is was going to match up to $75,000, and in the middle of the day, it sounds like that number got hit, and so this person said, "Hey, I'll match another 10." So now that person's going to match 85. So if St. Vincent de Paul raises 85 grand today, somebody's going to match it and turn it into $170,000. That all will go to support the many neighbors in need. 1/3 of the kids in our community have meal insecurity, meaning they don't know where their next meal is coming from. And in this day and age, honestly, it's just crazy. And so to turn this around, and really it's the spirit and energy that Tony brought in that response, and the spirit and energy that you guys live every day, that really generated all of this, and a lot of good is going to come from a really dumb comment.
Yeah, exactly. So DJ, I guess I have a quick question for you. We have Joe Walters waiting in the room right now.
Hey, Joe works for me too. He can wait as long as I want. Sorry, Joe. You might have been our President's Club winner last year, Joe, but you're going to wait for me today.
He can hear he can see and hear you. He just can't comment. I think he's flipping you off right now. I think
he might. He might.
So DJ, so help our viewers right now understand. You get a lot of media bias around comments. Let's talk specifically our Cincinnati Bengals. I know for a fact the organization from top to bottom, all the way to the players, are very generous in our city here. Can you speak to any of that with any of the charities you deal with?
Sure. I mean, I probably am biased because I like Katie a lot. I know Katie well. Troy, Elizabeth, Caroline, the family is fantastic. Mr. Brown, philanthropy is at the very core and heart of what he does. Obviously, if you've been to the Taste of the NFL event at Paul Brown, I know that's a popular event that they're looking to bring back in 2022. That's done in partnership with the Free Store Food Bank, another organization that does a lot of good. We also partner with them on the Rubber Duck Regatta as part of our Western and Southern WEBN fireworks Labor Day weekend that raises over $1 million. To feed people in this market that are hungry. So the Free Store Food Bank is near and dear to the Brown family and the Blackburn family as well. And again, they're incredibly philanthropic. Coach Taylor and his wife, just really to the core, good people who give back to the community. And the great thing about them is they don't do it and beat their chest. They don't do it and stand on the steps of the altar, if you will. They do it quietly without anybody knowing. And to me, that means so much more.
That's awesome, man. I know the Brown family. They're not somebody that's going to go out and donate and publicize it all over the damn place, right? going to do it. They'd rather not people know about it. But I don't care if they want people to know about it. We need to communicate that to the fan base and the people here in Cincinnati. They're how important that family is, and the players and the team, because they're huge into supporting local charities.
It's a huge part of our city, a huge part of our community. It's one of the things that makes this city so great. If you've lived here for a long time, you know this is it's a big city with big city amenities, but a small town feel, and the Bengals are a big part of that. And look at the community here. This tribe of Bengal fans that rose up and defended Tony. It just says a lot about not only the team and the fan base, but this whole community that we all live in. Outside of, I guess, Jamie, who allegedly lives north of the border, but Jamie seems great too.
You know what? As a long distance fan, I guess not long distance. I'm 2 hours away in Indianapolis, DJ, and this is kind of changing hats here. But when you guys decided to put more stuff on the iHeartRadio app, because the 700 WLW signal doesn't necessarily travel too well to Indianapolis, that was great. So again, for Bengals fans that don't live in Cincinnati, they can go to that iHeartRadio app and catch the Mo Ager, Tony Pike show and Lance's show and things like that. Kudos, and the more you can do on that, please do, because again, for us that can't dial in locally, that's a big plus.
You bet, and thanks for mentioning that, James. And we do a lot of the programming during the week with Dan Horde and Lap and all of the guys, and honestly, all of that can be made available on the app as well. We want everybody to be able to tune in. Lance does a great job having people check in from all over the country, and listeners, as we saw vividly in the last 26 hours, there are Bengals fans all over this country.
Absolutely. So, and one more thing, and this would be it.
We can make Joe wait forever, Jim. I'm good.
No, I don't want to run into him someday. Damn it, DJ.
Hey, listen, his knees are so bad, Jim. He ain't whipping anybody anymore.
So, Tony, take yourself off mute, man. I'm sorry we haven't given you the opportunity. I'm sure you want to interact and say something to DJ here. You and I have been talking about DJ all damn day today.
Yeah, DJ, I just want to personally say thank you, and I appreciate your support. And I'm just a fan, but when we get people like you involved, it's awesome. So thank you very much.
Tony, this is about you, man. This is about, again, as I said on Twitter, the positivity and the energy that you bring. And truthfully, as I said to Mo today, if I can give the city and the fan base something positive to chew on for a few days instead of the Jets and Browns game, then I'm doing something good. So this is all about you, Tony.
I appreciate that. Thanks.
DJ, we appreciate you, buddy. It means a lot, and thanks so much, man. And maybe let's. I got your phone number now, man. If there's something we can help you with down the road, brother, let's talk.
Hey, whatever you need. If you ever need me to pop on and answer some questions or take some heat on something, I'm happy to do it.
Yeah, when I get pissed off at Willie, I'm calling you now.
Go ahead. You're not the only one, brother. Believe me. I get lots of those. And hey, Tony, I look forward to meeting you and Carrie one day, face to face.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, boys.
DJ.
Have fun.
We'll see you, buddy. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Whoa, there's.
So that's good stuff. So let's go. Hey, Joe's a big dude, man. I'm the only one that could probably hang with him for a little bit. So let's bring his ass on now. I don't want him too, man. Joe, sorry, man. Your boss.
Hey guys, how are y'all?
Everything you said about your boss is true, man. I swear, he's kind of a.
He likes to talk a little bit, doesn't he?
Oh man, hey Joe, thanks for being on with us, buddy. This is again, everybody that's viewing right now, guy. We got Joe Walter. This is a Cincinnati football legend. Drafted in the 7th round in 1985 out of Texas Tech. Didn't go to Texas for some reason. We'll talk about that here in a minute, Joe. But played with the Bengals from 85 to 97. Played on some really, really good Bengal teams and some really bad Bengal teams there in the 90s.
Unfortunately.
So I guess, I mean, we got so much stuff to hit on, Joe. I guess the first thing I want to hit on, so my boy Willie Anderson, I don't know why he loves you so much, Joe, but every time I talk to him, somehow your name comes up, and he just really had an enjoyable time playing with you. He was talking about how you taught him 2 or 3 techniques that he still uses today that he shares in his camps and his training with kids and stuff like that. But there's without getting into a ton of detail, I do want you to share a story here because I'm getting so many questions on this on social media. In the mid-late 90s, Boomer Esiason came back to Cincinnati, and you were kind of abruptly let go by the Bengals, and Boomer wore your number on his helmet. So talk about that little situation here. The Bengals kind of parted ways with you, and it didn't sit well with some of the teammates, especially Boomer, right?
Well, yeah, it was one of those. Kevin Sargent was coming back from injury, and they had to make room for him to come back. I'd gone to the front office, not necessarily to Mike, but to Bruce Coslet, and talked to him about, listen, if you're going to let me go today, which was a Monday. I don't need to go through a work week, and give me an opportunity to start making some calls to possibly go somewhere else. And obviously that didn't happen. He told me, we're not going to cut you. We're going to cut somebody else. And then Friday rolled around, and lo and behold, I'm the one that got cut. And, Boomer and I were pretty much running the scout team defense because Willie was starting at the time. And we were really working hard with those guys. And I was helping Willie and pretty much told the coaches that I was going to do anything I could to help him because he's such a great guy, great player. And he was just hungry to learn. And, Boomer and I were pretty tight anyway. And he's the one that kind of started when I blew my knee out in 88. If you remember, they had my number on the side of their helmet back then as well. So, we're pretty tight. And, that was a big thing for me to see. That meant a lot to me.
Yeah. So help me understand this. I don't know if you know this. So Willie Anderson said that Boomer made a life-size poster of you when you got released, and all the linemen went out and celebrated with your poster after they waved you.
Hilarious. I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah, well, now we know. Willie Anderson said that we have to bring that up on the show today. So I'm going to get a hold of Boomer. We're going to see if that poster is still available of you, Joe. But
I would like to see that. That had to be a very large poster. That's for sure.
Good stuff. Tom?
Joe, when you came, and I'm fortunately, I think I'm going to get a couple questions with you. But when you first came, you were part of that wave of linemen that Jim McNally took, who were not, first, second round, even third round draft choices. You were drafted a little later, and didn't just work you to being on the roster, work you to being a starter, but worked you into being, a dominant starter and one of the premier right tackles in the league. You tell me, from being drafted, what was Jim McNally's magic working with you, Reimers, Kozerski, and on with those guys? What was it like playing for him those first couple of years?
Well, I came from Texas Tech, and, I was drafted in the 7th round, had no idea. When I got up to Wilmington, I didn't think I was going to make the club, right? They had their 8 guys, and there was another lineman drafted by the name of Eric Stokes. And Eric was a center guard, deep snapper, right? He could just throw the frozen rope back there. And we were roommates. So I go through all 6 weeks of training camp, and all I'm hearing is they can't cut me from Stokes. There's just no way they're going to cut me. And so the night before, we're at a last night, the last night of the training camp party type thing. And I think I'm going home to Texas the next day, right? I'm getting cut. I'm on my way. So I'm going to really just enjoy the last day in Cincinnati, and I'm hooping it up and having a lot of adult beverages. And Chris Collinsworth comes walking over and says, "Hey, Big Joe, tomorrow's going to be a long day." And I said, "Yeah, I guess it'll be a long flight home for sure." And he said, "No, that's not what I mean." Then I kept drinking, and Schoenert comes over, stops me, and tells me what's going on. And he said, "Hey, big man, you know whose room I'm in every day?" I said, "Yeah, Sam's." He goes, "Do you think I know what I'm talking about?" He said, "You better slow down." Oh, well, okay, I did. So then the next day, and I'm leading up to the McNally thing. I'm just giving you a little preface here. So we walk in the next morning, and Eric and I both walked by the Axeman, Frank Smouse, and we looked at each other like, "Wow, that's weird. We didn't get neither one of us got pulled out, right?" So we go in the locker room. We're sitting there like two little poor puppies, going, "Oh, he's going to come in and cut us soon." And next thing another door opens up, and Frank hollers out for Stokes. And so he goes, and he comes back, and he's teary-eyed and said, "I can't believe they just cut me." The next thing, the door opens. "Walter, get your ass in here." And it was McNally screaming at me, right? So I go in there, and he slams the door behind me. And, Jimmy's only, 5'5", 5'6", a little short guy. And he's pointing at me and cussing me and saying, "You better do everything I do, and you better marry Anthony Munoz and do everything he does. And if you screw this up, I fought for you until after midnight last night." And I said, "Whatever you say, Jimmy, I'll do whatever." And so I didn't literally marry Anthony, but I watched everything he did. And I tell you, Jimmy, we were talking about that today. We had a Legends luncheon for WLW for the Bengal sponsors today. And you know, they were asking us kind of the same question. I said, if it wasn't for McNally and his technical knowledge of the game and just absolutely studied the offensive line play and technique, I mean, we would literally, you know, at minicamp, he was on his hands and knees when we installed the zone package for the run game. He was on his hands and knees. We're all in our stances all the way down the line, right? And he's crawling down. Here's your first step. And he would actually take our foot and drop it to where he wanted us to drop it to. And he would go down the line. Then he would come back. Here's your second step. And he'd put our foot. And we'd have to stay in that position the whole time. And it was just his way of instilling everything in our brain and getting us used to that. And he would do that every day. And we would go through everything every day. It was a rotation. I mean, it was repeated every single day of the season. And I think that's – and the guys that we had on that line, Anthony, Reimers, Kazerski, Maxey, Blados, myself, David Douglas, Remington was there for a year or two while I was there. It was just a bunch of really good guys that had that big heart. You know, they worked their tails off to get to play in the NFL. And, you know, we were all very fortunate to have Jimmy. And everything points right back to Jimmy and just the way he took us under his wings. And he just absolutely loved offensive line play. And we loved playing for him. And, you know, you hated to disappoint him. And I think that's what made our line so special.
Yeah, it's funny. We had Jim on the show sometime early this year, late last year. Jim McNally's a character, man. He's a fun dude, man. He's a really great guy.
Absolutely.
I
went a long way for that, brother. Did I use all your time up?
We're on your time. We're on your time, brother. We're good.
There's an intro in our video, Joe, and thank you for joining us. Willie Anderson talks about the time that he thought he was looking pretty dapper in this all red suit. I think maybe it was his rookie year, and you apparently didn't think it was so dapper and laid into him. Do you remember that story at all?
I vaguely. I used to give him grief all the time about his dress. You know, being that large of a man, wearing the colors that he wore was just atrocious. And I told him that's not the way a lineman dresses. You know, linemen are in jeans, T-shirts. You know, we show up ready to go to war, and he's showing up like he's somebody special. I think he even had a Rolls Royce or something at the time. He thought he was a cat's meow.
You know we're sending this clip to Willie, damn it.
That's good. I wish you would.
Oh, I know he has Joe, thanks for being with us. I know we have a few questions here. I know Crypt Keeper, I think he's from Florida, is asking, Joe, what was you have a funny story about Spinney Field?
A funny story about Spinney Field. Yeah, my rookie year, we're practicing. We're doing walkthroughs. This is my favorite story. And I'm on the sidelines. I'm a rookie. I didn't get much playing time at all as a rookie, so I'm over on the sidelines. And we used to make fun of Kazerski a little bit, just jabbing at him and stuff. He used to wear his football pants real high, right? And so we would walk around like him and give him grief. Well, he didn't like it when he was just in a terrible mood. Of course, he's always in a bad mood. And so he was upset because he saw people making fun of him, but he didn't know who it was. Well, Blados is out there playing scout team defense, right? And all of a sudden, it's just literally a walkthrough. Cause fires off the ball and just nails Blades. Well, they start getting into a fight, and Tiger Johnson goes out there, and he's chewing their butts, right, because they're fighting in walkthrough, which was just the most crazy thing ever. And he said, Cause, what are you all mad about? Blades is making fun of me. He goes, it's not Blades. It's that damn rookie Walter over there making fun of you. And that one lived forever. That was a good story. That's one of my favorite stories.
That is
another thing. But
I have not heard that one. That's a good one, Joe. That's a good one. Another viewer question here, Joe. There's a lot of these in here. Joe, who was the best player you went up against? Not on the Bengals, but a player from an opposing team. Who was the guy that gave you the biggest fits?
Man, there were so many of them, right? Everybody had their own way of playing. I would say there was probably three that were maybe 4 that were the toughest for me. But the 3, obviously Reggie White. That was one guy you had to bring your lunch bucket for to go against and play a perfect game. Number 2 would be William Fuller from the Houston Oilers. He was kind of a Reggie White type, but smaller. He had that club and he had that low center of gravity. And then 3 would probably be Howie Long. He was always a pretty tough battle. Had a lot of fun playing against him, but I would say those were the top 3 in that order.
Got it. Tom, I think you had another one.
Yeah, Joe, I got one in 2 parts. That special 1988 Super Bowl team. I knew some people, the late Jerry Jones and some other people who were a little bit more into the stats of things before everybody else. And I know he always vowed that until the day you got hurt, that you graded out the best on that line in 1988. I mean, Munoz, Montoya, all those guys. Tell us a little bit about that team, how special that year was. And the other part, I always like asking guys that played during that era, how diplomatic and gentle was Boomer Esiason in the huddle?
Well, to answer the first part of the question, I think, we came really as a tight-knit group during the strike. We hung out a lot together. We practiced together. And I think that really cultivated on how good we were going to be in 88 because we were really a tight-knit team. We hung out a lot. And that team in 88 was really special. That was the first year we came out with the zone blocking, with the 16, 17, 18, 19 with Icky and James and Stanley Wilson. And the group of guys that we had on that line was tremendous. The group of guys we had at the skilled position were tremendous, smart. We all got along. There really wasn't anybody that didn't like each other. The whole team got along, which helped us with that run, right? We never panicked. And having Boomer as that leader, I can remember there was a time where he had to cuss out the offensive line, and he asked Anthony to walk out of the huddle so he could cuss us out. And Anthony walked out a couple of steps, and he started chewing our tails. And they said, "Okay, Anthony, you can get back in the huddle." And you had that much respect for Big A, and Boomer was just a great leader. I think Sam, being the magician Sam was, really worked with Boomer on the run action pass where he could hide the ball. You didn't know he had it. And he was a magician himself. And so that was just a special, special team. It'll be a while before you get something like that again, I think.
Hey, Joe, I had the opportunity to listen to you and Chick, who we actually had on the show a couple of weeks ago, this past Sunday night. Enjoy the post-game show, which certainly isn't fun after a loss like we experienced on Sunday. A lot of questions on that show about the O-line. For those that didn't hear that on 700 post-game, what's your thoughts on the current state of the O-line? What we saw on Sunday, we saw Hakeem Adeniji come off IR, get slotted into that right guard spot, which shocked some people. So maybe you can talk about that move, maybe our draft picks, or just overall the current state of our O-line, because as fans know, that was a hot topic last year, protecting Joe, which probably wasn't done as good as what we needed. So I'll shut up and let you talk about what you see here on our O-line.
Well, first of all, I think Frank Pollock's done a great job with this group, right? I think, the more I think about it, we talked about it today in that luncheon, and the more I think about it, this is a young offensive line. I think we all tend to forget that a little bit, right? You got Jonah Williams, who came in hurt. He's only played, this is like his 3rd season, I believe. Played a little bit in that last year, but this is his first full year, and I heard him talking about it the other day. This is the first year he hasn't missed a practice at all. And so, he's in there. You've got Spain, who I feel like is just a guy. I'm not, I'm not real overly impressed, but he's a big body in there. Trey Hopkins came off his knee injury, back after 9 months. I think we forget about that. That takes a long time. I had blew both my knees out. And for him to be back 9 months is incredible. but it's also a mental thing too. You got to get over those mental hurdles. And then you had Carmen and now Adeniji in there. And, that's a rookie. And I guess Adeniji's a rookie too. So you got those guys. And so they've got to become cohesive. And it takes a while if they keep interchanging those parts. And so until they can get the middle three in that game all the time where they get used to each other, because you can see it, twists and loops and stunts really screw this team up. They're on different levels, and that's all just not working together. The biggest thing for me, I look at the way the league is set up and structured now. Training camp when I played was 6 weeks, right? And you're going 2 days and you're busting tail for 2 days. So your line has a chance to work together full speed. So they're used to the twists, the stunts, the loops, all the games, right? And so you learn to and to trust and be on the right level, and you get all that figured out. Well, now with Club Med's training camp, right, they don't have that, right? And so in my mind, it takes that 4 to 6 games of the regular season because they're going live action, right? They don't do any live action during, training camp 1 day, but I don't think it's a lot. And they don't do anything during the season. I mean, we were even live action during the season when I played. So it takes time for that group to come together. And then if you got injuries, with the rookies that you have on there, it takes time. You got Riley Reef, I think, is a good tackle. He's a formidable guy in there. Listen, we're going to be good. They're going to be a good group. They just got to get used to each other, and Paul needs another year or two with them to get them to be that group they need to be.
Thank you for answering. I know that was a lot of questions there in our chat. Here's another question from the chat. If you've got a couple more minutes, Joe. Augie asks, in the 88 division round versus Seattle, did you and the boys have any choice words for Nash for flopping, trying to thwart the no-huddle attack? If it were today's game, the mic'd up segments would eat it up.
Well, I didn't get to play. I was hurt. But, that was one of the things that happened all season long with that attack offense, right? Folks said we'd wear them out, and they were falling out. And, they would be over there. I can remember Smurless from Buffalo. He would fall out and act like he was hurt. He would look at us and wink, because we knew what he was doing. They were just trying to get a breather. And, does it irritate you? Yeah, but that's the game that they were trying to pull, and there's nothing you can really do about it until, the league does something about it at that time anyway.
Okay. Yeah. Tom, you got another one?
Just, in addition to when you talked about the cohesiveness of the line, this is the other side of your line, but kind of building on what you said. Anthony Munoz, I heard him say one time, he and Bruce Reimers got to a point where they didn't call signals. They knew what the other one was thinking by how they looked at each other, or they would, slightly nod, and they just knew.
Right.
And you mentioned that 4 to 6 weeks, the Steelers had an offensive line that was an absolute mess going into the season, but getting into mid-October, they seem to have it going well. There are really no studs or stars on that offensive line.
Right.
Unit, they're playing dramatically better. So you think that, finding those 5 starters and, of course, depth of finding those 5 starters, staying in Frank Pollock's system, and, maybe we have a clean and healthy Joe Burrow forever?
Right. Yeah, and Anthony's very true on that. And Max and I, when Max was here, we were the same way. It got to the point you just looked at each other, didn't have to say anything. And I love the twists and stunts. So if there was an ET where the end goes in and tries to pick the guard, that was my favorite stunt because I was so strong. I would take him and throw him past Max, and Max would he loved it because he didn't have to block anybody. I'd throw him down to the left side and let them handle him. But it does take time. This group will be good. We got to remember they were interchanging guys all during training camp and all during the 3 preseason. It wasn't the same guy. So until they get that figured out, you're going to see the inconsistencies there.
So not to put words in your mouth, you're saying if Anthony and Bruce could look at each other and know what the other was thinking, you and Max could look at each other, know what you're thinking, we have another case of nobody was listening to Bruce Kozerski as he was calling out.
Absolutely. You're correct. Nobody cared what he had to say.
So, Joe, hey, just a couple quick things here. We'll let you off here right at our 20-minute limit here with you. But I was at an event at the Montgomery Inn a few months back when I got to talk to you a little bit. That was a iHeart Media event or something.
Yeah, the Bengal luncheon thing. Yeah,
Bengal luncheon thing. And Doug Pelfrey was there, and Doug Pelfrey was talking about this text string that he has going with kickers. It's him, Doug Pelfrey, Shane Graham, and Jim Breach have a text string. What the hell can kickers be saying to each other, Joe, on a text string?
They need each other because they don't have anybody else. I mean, don't get you're going to ruin my night talking about damn kickers. They got one job to do, and they can't even do that.
Well, we got some ammunition. There's gonna be text messages going to Shane and Doug and Breach and now Willie Anderson. These guys are gonna be on your ass, Joe.
That's good. Hey, bring the kickers. I'm not worried about the kickers. Especially not worried about Willie because if he comes wearing that red suit, I'm not gonna worry about that either.
All right, last question, and this is the most important question we've had the last 60 minutes, and this is closing out the show. We really appreciate you being here with us, Joe. We've had so many of your teammates. We've had legends on from the 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s and current players. It's just been fun. You know, there's so many fans out there, Joe, that don't know who you are, and this is kind of a format for these guys to get to know our Bengal OGs and the legends, and we enjoy it, and everybody watching really loves this. So, but the most important question, the last question is, when you were playing, which team did you hate the most between these two? The city up north or the city near West Virginia? Which was the team you hated the most?
Both equally. Like my son played Pee Wee football, and the team he had to play for was the Steelers.
Oh,
and it drove me crazy. I couldn't stand it. I ended up helping coach, which was even worse, having to wear black and gold.
No, you did.
Oh, it was terrible. But yeah, it's funny because I do a pregame show for home games on EBN, and with Cleveland being in town, I was giving all those folks just all kinds of a hard time. It was great. I don't like them either one.
That's the best answer we've ever had on that.
Yeah. They both suck. I can't stand either one. I'll never go to those cities and visit. Believe me.
Well, Joe, brother, it means I know you went out of your way to do this for us tonight, Joe, and the fans, young and old, just enjoyed this tonight. We really appreciate it, buddy. It means if you ever need anything from us, bud, you know how to find us. You need something, support from us at all, you let us know.
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me on. Let's do it again.
Joe, thank you so much. Who day?
Thank you.
Who day, babe?
Hey, keep an eye on your phone. Willie and the kicker is going to come after his ass. I'm telling you.
Willie will definitely have something to say to him.
Him and Willie got a good relationship. They mess with each other. They're good. They're good. Hey, Joe was fun, man. I tell you what, that's another piece that we wanted to get of that 88 Super Bowl team, and that we wanted to talk to, which was really fun.
And this is Michael's comment here, and you changed it. Michael's comment here, and going back to season one. These stories are great, and as many times as we've seen a lot of these people talk and hear stories, there's so many stories here that are shared that people haven't heard before. So Joe enlightened us some on that, and thank you, Jimmy, for getting him on. That just another great guest.
Yeah. Hey, just to let you know, my buddy Scott Heineke.
Yeah, I was just about to put that.
He's trying to set a record. He's trying to set a record tonight.
Yeah, he's been keeping us updated in the chat all night.
So Scott is out there fighting every Cleveland and Pittsburgh fan of social media until he gets blocked.
That's beautiful.
Oh, Scott, we love you. We love you, Scott.
I'll find you. I'll follow you, Scott.
Hey, I'll follow you, then block you, so it can be 14.
Yeah. Hey, Richard Dalton, and I'm sorry I don't have this image up here. Richard, not too long before the show, sent an image. The guy's just absolutely amazing. Someday this guy's gonna be a millionaire. He's got all the talent in the world. But he did an image of the Talking Football with Bengal Jim and Friends, where he had Tony the Tiger behind a giant fire behind him, and Tony and his big tiger growl with a giant chain on it, and the chain had a big logo on it. It was the Talking Football with Bengal Jim and Friend logo that he did. So I posted that, but I didn't get a chance to post it till not too long. Yeah, if you can find that, Jamie, it's awesome, man. It's just very cool stuff. Scott's going to be up to 20 blocked folks here before we get off here in the next couple minutes.
That's funny. I'm going to give the quick fantasy football update. Our buddy Archie. Hold on. Oh, Jamie, yeah, you're
There it
included
is.
in this.
Look at
Let me
that.
Get this pulled
That
up.
is absolutely amazing, man. That's jeez,
That
okay.
is. So,
Awesome.
Jimmy, am I allowed to talk about your team this week?
Go ahead. I was hoping we get through this show without talking about fantasy football. It's all right.
Well, Jamie, do you want to talk about your team this week?
I'm on a 2-game slide. Unfortunately, I was the first one to lose to Bengal Jim. I think the only one to lose to Bengal Jim so far.
I have a one game. I only have a
Oh,
one.
that's
game
right. You weren't here last week. We couldn't even make fun of you.
No, I wasn't here last week. Sorry, I was at the hockey game.
There's
Any given Sunday.
There's a reason he went to the hockey game, James.
Any given Sunday.
So yeah.
Slide here, boys.
So Bengal Jim and let's see here, our buddy. Let's see, who is this? I think it's Luke. Loco Luke it's Tony. Tony's not in last place. No, Tony has a whopping. Man,
I assume AJ's in first still.
Yeah, but AJ took an L to the Carl Pickens clause this week. Oh, Tony only has one win. Goodness, Tony and Jimmy, you guys.
We're just gonna turn it on at the end of the year here. We're good.
All right, Jamie slid back to second. AJ's still leading the Anthony Munoz division. Brandon's first loser in the Paul Brown division, and Bengal Jim still has one win. So that's your fantasy football update.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and close this thing out. Jamie, you want to start us off?
Yeah. So I was just looking at the where it's predicted I'm going to finish. It's not looking too good. I'm going to finish 9th, apparently. ESPN. Yeah, I don't know. I hate the bye week because there's no Bengals football, so it's going to be. I don't tell Aaron when we're on a bye, so I'll be downstairs watching Red Zone on Sunday, just pretending the Bengals are playing. Because if I do, then I'll have stuff to do around the house. I don't want to do that. And the only other thing I can say is I was just really disappointed that the Lions didn't claim Odell. I was kind of hoping they'd take him and make him rot in Detroit. But
who got him? I missed that.
No, he hasn't signed. He's a free agent now,
Okay.
so I'm sure it's the Seahawks by this time tomorrow.
It'd be funny as hell if he went back to the Giants. So
would have been great. But anyway, the other thing I wanted to mention really quickly, got asked a couple times in the chat, who was the guy rapping at Tailgate on Sunday? I know we had a video. I didn't have a chance to pull it.
Oh,
yeah.
T Woods. We want to
T.
thank our
Wood.
buddy Dell at 16 Lots. We had some audio issues. We actually got it through. And correct me if I'm wrong, Jimmy. He'll be back for the next home game.
The Steelers game. He will be back, and he has the Bengals version of the black and yellow, but it's orange and black. And he did a really good job with that at the tailgate. So T. Higgins' family was there jamming when he was rapping. So it was a fun time. Yep.
I also one more thing, guys. Sorry, in my closing segment here, I can't see it now, but it was brought up by Chris earlier that she ran into Marissa before the game, and there might actually be a Jamie Stevens fan club T-shirt coming out from Marissa. So stay tuned for that.
Oh Lord.
Yeah,
nice.
I know a certain shirt I'll outsell. Anyway, go ahead,
Tom.
Who's next?
Yeah, I won't be buying a Jamie fan club T-shirt, but I'm sure. Actually, I'm not sure anybody will, but
I'll give you one for free.
I appreciate that. Sunday's over. Sunday's over. The last 2 Sundays are over. So I actually think the bye week's coming at a good time. I don't like any weekend that the Bengals don't play, but it's a good time for them to work on what they need to work on. They seem to know what they need to fix, so they'll get at it. They have the right game plan to go to Vegas, so there'll still be football to watch Sunday. I believe the Raiders are on Sunday Night Football, so we'll all be scouting them out along with Coach Taylor and the crew. So, and I think the giant win of the week, the MVP of the week, the fan of the week is definitely Tony the Tiger, turning a giant negative from can you mute Jamie, real quick? Taking the second jackass from Cleveland and turning it into another positive, just like the first jackass. We turned that into a positive with the Bengal cart. So, but, raising the funds for veterans, and now, Tony, with all his partners doing all that for St. Vincent de Paul. So just tremendously classy thing by a classy person. Not surprised at all that he has the strength to handle it much better than I would have, and move forward. So, like I said, not just a credit to Bengaldom and Bengal fans, but to the city of Cincinnati as a whole.
Yeah.
James. All right. Happy birthday, Tony. Love you, buddy. And as you know, we have your back. Unlike the terrible advice Jamie gave, I'm going to say take this bye week. Or Jamie didn't give advice. He lied to Aaron. I'm going to say take this bye week, get your honeydews done. And then that way you have the final 8 weeks to do what you need to do and enjoy the second half of the season. Yeah, I'm not one to give advice often, but
your wife must be watching.
She's on the other side of the laptop. She's on the other side of the laptop looking at you.
But no, we appreciate everyone who kicked in for the charity. As we talked about earlier, if you know a restaurant or food truck that wants to get involved in the tailgate for the second half of the year, let us know. We'd love to have you highlight your food and have you down at Lottie for one of the remaining games. We said T Woods will be back rapping. We got a new speaker at the tailgate and subwoofer, which was
sounds good, baby.
Which was nice. And now everybody enjoy the bye week. And we're gonna come back. I appreciate Joe Walter's insight tonight. Not only on Willie Anderson's attire, but also the O-line thoughts. And it gives us a different perspective of, questioning what's happening or why Joe's getting hit and things like that. So appreciate everyone tuning in. And Jimmy,
I want to back up to the tailgate, guys. And it's just part of Sunday. It's as much as part as the game day as anything else. Going to the football game, that tailgate, the people that we meet, the great people that we meet, and the platform that it has given everybody that's watching right now to help out local charities has been absolutely amazing, guys. I can't go without thanking Dell and Craig and Bruce and Tom and Tony and Carrie and Tom and Jamie, and I'm missing people, I'm sure. Aaron, my son, came down from Columbus because my older son couldn't make it, was down there early with me, helped set up before everybody got there. Thanks so much for everybody being part of it. This tailgate can't happen without a village, basically. It's just a lot of work, and it's a lot of fun, and that's what it's about. So, again, happy birthday to our guy, Tony, and we love you, Tony and Carrie. Love you guys. Thanks so much for the St. Vincent de Paul charity fundraiser. I can't wait to see what the numbers are here tomorrow when they send us an update. But Bengal Nation, we still have up until midnight tonight to donate, and they're still matching dollar for dollar up to midnight tonight. So those links on our social media platforms. Let's keep blowing this thing out, guys. We're going to be well over $3,000, guys. We're going to be closer to $3,400 to $3,500. I'm sorry, $34,000 to $35,000 after this fundraiser is done. It just totally blows me away, the generosity of Bengal fans. Joe Walter, thank you. That was a lot of fun to get another Bengal legend on. The bye week's coming up. I think the honey-do list is a very important thing for me. I will tell you, it was Trisha's birthday Sunday. She didn't go to the game, so I spent all day Friday and all day Saturday with her. Because I went to the game and she went out with her sister and her family to watch movies and stuff Sunday. But there's a group of us, and I'm not going to mention names because everybody knows who you are, and I'm going to miss somebody, and somebody's going to be mad at me. But Bengals are 5-4. We said before the year started, this group, that we were going to hit every home and away game. That's the plan. There could be something that happened that prevents one of us from not going. But this group of folks, that we've been going to these games with, we've been to every game so far. We've hit 9 games out of the 17, and we plan on going to Vegas. We got our Vegas tickets locked up. So this bye week, I'm really looking forward to hitting the second half of the year here, guys, and hitting every home and away game. The first time I've ever been able to do this. I'm hoping I can make them all. But so far, 5-4, I've been to all 9 with this group of people, and it's been a fun first half of the year with these guys. You know how when you spend so much time with people out of town, at some point you either hate them or love them. So far, we still love each other. I'm sure that we get on each other's nerves every now and then, but so far it's been a blast. I can't wait for the second half of the year. Oakland's going to be Oakland, but the Raiders game is going to be an absolute blast. We can't wait to get on the road. So thanks everybody for viewing. We appreciate everybody viewing. We got some big things in the hopper here for the next few weeks, guys, and we will see everybody here same time, same channel next Tuesday. We'll see you guys. Who day?
Who day?
Who day?